lot of brothers out there flaking and perpetrating, scared to kick reality. Yo, man, a lot of brothers out there flaking and perpetrating, scared to kick reality.
Get the gas up. Get the gas. Get the gas.
If you got them, smoke them. That's what they say.
Get the gas up. Load it up. Get the gas up. Load it up. Get the gas. Get the gas. Get the gas. Till the third wall posse. Till the third wall posse. Get the gas. Get the gas. Till the 10th wall posse. Till the 10th wall posse.
FanView Live, where real fans talk about real sports, only on the New Orleans Talk Network. Like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, because we're not just a sports talk show, we're a talk show about sports.
Well, what's up, everybody? This is boy Coach Hurricane here. You can follow me on Facebook at Henry Singleton or on Twitter at HenryHayoU15.
Listen, this is your boy Fred. Listen, you can follow me on Facebook at Brandon Fred Jones, or you can follow me on Twitter at BFred Jones.
This is Jeremiah Gray, man, with GSportz. You can follow me on Facebook, Jeremiah Gray, A.K.A. G, and on Twitter, G_paid in full 08.
Pay me the money! money.
Whoa, what's up, everybody? Listen, FanView, Real Fans Talk Sports, New Orleans Talk Network. Listen, episode 2 of 2020. There he is. National champs, LSU Tigers. Listen, guys, much to discuss for the show. Listen, I'm your boy Fred. I'm going to my left.
GSportz in the building. That's how you feeling?
I'm feeling.
You know what I'm saying?
It's your boy, Coach Hurricane here. Get the gat. Bring the motherfucking national championship back. You heard me?
You can't handle success. Can't handle it.
Woo!
Can't handle success.
Man, listen, thanks for y'all tuning in on Facebook. If you're on FanView Live on Facebook, check us out on New Orleans Talk Network. If you're on YouTube, NOTN Live. If you're on Twitter tonight, much to discuss going on this episode of FanView Live. For people who are tuning in, we're going to have Jimmy Chase, father Jamal Chase, is going to be calling in the show. It's a big episode. This is the big episode. Lots to discuss. We're going to be talking later on the show. A little AFC, NFC championship. Odell Beckham and his situation. We get into that later on in the show, but we're going to be starting off this show right now with the national champs LSU. The Tigers dominated Clemson to win the Natty. 15-0. Epic season for the national champions. There he is. Guys, I'm gonna start off with Coach Hen. Yo, recap this game from us. Tell us a little about what you think about the success of LSU and recap the season.
Man, I think first and foremost, you got to give credit to Coach O. He had a plan.
Mm-hmm.
He stuck with the plan. He didn't kind of lean back on the bad traits that got him ousted at Ole Miss. You know, he didn't micromanage.
Right.
He gave the guys full vision. You know, when it was position guys and the kids bought in. You know what I'm saying? They fought hard for him. Man, this season's just been like magical. And they spoke it into existence. And you see, like I've seen many of their practices. I was there plenty of time, and you seen it coming. You see, like I remember telling y'all over the summer that look, this is our year. Of course, you know. So I'm not even just from what I seen, from going to Georgia, going to Clemson, going to Alabama to these different coaching clinics, watching them guys practice. There's no way in the world. I don't see. If they could, and all thing they had to do, they had to put it together. They put it together. It was phenomenal. I think people have to give Insmian a little more credit than what he's gotten. He called every play. That's something a lot of people don't realize. He called every play. Now, granted, he did have like it was Joe Brady's passing system in there, but the plays was called by Insmian, and I don't think a lot of people realize that. But just to go back to the game, Monday, I was there. It was phenomenal. See, I know, like sitting in the section I was sitting by, you could tell people who didn't understand football and people who understood football.
That's fans there.
You know, you had people. You know, people thought LSU we were supposed to score on every drive. You know, you get put down in the 3, you get put down on a 1. You know, in your first 2 possessions, you don't have nothing in your script for that. Your job is to not give the defense any easy, cheap points. Get out of that situation, weather the storm, stick to the plan. Now, I do give Brent Venables did a hell of a job at first, but, you know, disguising his 3-3 stack, that was phenomenal, especially with the personnel that he had. But once James Craig, the offensive line coach from LSU, once he realized that, it was over. It was over. And Jamar Chase, man, what more can you say about this kid? We knew he was something special. I thought it was a big time get for us to get him from Florida to stay in state. And this is the 4th guy who was supposed to be the guy in A.J. Terrell getting highly drafted this year that he has abused. I'm like, it's not even close. You see what Oklahoma had to do. They said anybody but him. We're going to put our best guy on him. That's not enough. We're going to roll coverage his way on. He will not beat us. Everybody else could beat us, but he won't beat us. And time again, man, he was just dominant. Dominant. And hell, give Aranda the new Baylor head coach, give him his due. Sunshine didn't have a touchdown pass. He was very uncomfortable. The different looks and stuff that he was giving to him. I didn't even know they tracked this type of stuff. I didn't know they tracked overhand throws. When the hell they started tracking that
13
shit?
overthrows.
You know what I'm saying? You know,
we never give us that.
And then, like, outside, he had a good plan for Etienne. Outside the 2 long runs that he had, which were one, I see as a pass rusher, I seen what Chase Arm was reading, but you have to understand what the play call was. He took an inside angle, the tackle was just able to log him out, and then it was nobody there too. Jacoby Stevens was in a bad position. You know, he was in the right play. It was just a hell of a play call by Tony Franklin, and had him, you know, in no man's land. You know, Sunshine made the good read, but outside of that, not 100 yards. He had 100 yards total from scrimmage when you add in the overall play. T. Higgins, oh my God, where were you? Justin Ross, where were you?
Justin Ross had a pretty good game.
You know, not Clemson caliber good.
That was a bad call on that pass interference, offensive pass interference when he scored.
I'll give you that.
I
give you that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a big. I give you that.
I don't think it made a difference, but I agree.
But other than that, man, fucking Stingley, man, god damn.
Somebody seen the scout report. No one threw it his way.
A true freshman has a fucking island. And it's crazy because I watched a Meek tweet about it when I got back home. You got pros watching this. Jalen Ramsey came out there and said, "Hey, welcome. You'll never get a pass thrown your way in college football ever again." That's that's ridiculous.
It's called
for a freshman. But that's just all in all phenomenal. Way to bring it home. Greatest team to ever do.
Say the greatest. Like Ali in his prime.
Yeah. He's an LSU head.
Hard head. Like you said.
Head buster. If Michigan had won a natty, I would be over here with a Michigan hat on, Michigan shirt.
Y'all won that bitch. I wouldn't even did a show. I would have
glad you know.
I would have
glad you know, because y'all like a fool. Y'all got to block me off social media. I promise you that. But look, I'm gonna take a different avenue when it comes to this national championship for LSU, because I remember the year before last when things did not look like Orgeron would last at LSU.
Especially at the Troy loss.
I was just about to get to that. I was in the building. Coach Hurricane Hill was in the building when Troy State lost. When the Troy State beat LSU in Death Valley. I won't say it was homecoming.
It was homecoming. We was all there.
And when they lost that game, I said Orgeron won't last. He won't last. Because when you lose to a team like FBS school in Death Valley on homecoming, the offense was looking like a middle school offense at the time. You just did not see Orgeron lasting in Baton Rouge. And kudos to the athletic director for believing in Coach O and letting him play his contract out. But the second big thing is Orgeron became open-minded. Okay? They wanted to stick to this 21 personnel for the longest. And, you want to line up and run power and lead and that toss lead that they incorporated from Les Miles. And they went visit the Saints. And Orgeron finally said, you know what? With all the athletes that we get in here every year, our receiver room arguably probably be the best receivers top to bottom in the country every year.
Right.
We'll never know.
We'll never know.
We don't utilize them. Okay? So he understood that to take LSU to the promised land, which was to hold up that national championship trophy, he knew he had to move to a spread. And I've been saying this for about 4 years now. LSU need to go to a spread. LSU ever go to a spread, you can cancel Christmas. And that's what happened. Hiring Joe Brady. That was the hire of the year. I'm talking about pro sports, college sports, high school. I don't care what you want to call it. Joe Brady was the hire of the year. Now, Coach Henry said that it's going to call the plays. Now, a couple of sources inside the LSU program told me something different. They told me that Joe Brady called third downs and red zone plays. And Isminga called the rest of the plays. And that's what I was told. Now, we'll never know because we're not up in the box with Joe Brady and Isminga. But that's what I was told. I was told that Joe Brady calls third down plays and Isminga called, and he called third down plays and he called red zone plays. However it was called, it did a good job being a team. And when you hear Joe Brady and you hear Isminga on interviews, neither one of them tried to take the credit. Joe's always talking about how Isminga is a phenomenal play caller and his offensive mind is brilliant and Isminga giving all the credit to Joe Brady. And that's what you need. You need unisons.
Right. When
you're trying to accomplish one common goal, and that's the whole national championship trophy.
Right.
And so the next thing I want to talk about is after the Ole Miss game, how Aranda challenged that defense. Because up until that game, I was wondering what the hell is going on with the defense. You got all these studs on defense. Why they can't stop nobody? Why y'all giving up the 30 points to Ole Miss? What's going on? And so after that game, Aranda challenged that defense, and that's the reason I feel that they held the national championship trophy. We know the offense was going to do what they do. They've been doing it all year.
Right.
But we knew if that defense didn't get it together, Clemson could have messed around and walked out that Superdome with that trophy. And so that's what I think happened. Trevor Lawrence was the sunshine golden boy.
Correct.
That everybody had been talking about since he first laid, when he took stepped foot on Clemson's campus. And people really thought that he was going to come in the Superdome. Hadn't lost. He was 24-1?
25.
24-0.
24-25.
So he hadn't lost a game. Yeah, right. He hadn't lost a game.
The last game he lost was the state championship in high school.
Right. So everybody thought that, this man took down Bama as a true freshman.
Yeah.
Not only did he take down Bama, he blew them out. So people thought that Sunshine had a good chance to come in the Superdome on Monday night and take down them LSU Tigers. And I thought that
Home Alone.
Comment of the year so far.
I personally thought that he was gonna have a better game than that. I thought he was gonna have a way better game than that. I didn't think Clemson was gonna win. My prediction score was 38-28, but I thought he was gonna have a better game than that. But that's kudos to Dave Aranda. It's amazing what this defense did in the latter part of the season. Jalen Hurts, 15 for 31, 217 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception. He was in New York sitting at the podium for the Heisman. And that's what they did to him. Jay Fromm, who was supposed to be the third best quarterback in this draft, went 20 for 42, 225 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions in the SEC championship. Love, who is looked at as one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the country, and they talking about this guy probably gonna end up being a first round pick.
Don't understand how, but hey.
That's what the Todd McShays and the Mel Kiper say.
So they say.
Don't shoot the message.
No, I know.
This guy was 15 for 30, 130 yards, no touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. And then Tua, he had the best game out of all of them.
The only one over 50%.
And look, most of that came on some comeback type stuff. You got to play with Darius Stingler looking to the sideline. They caught him with his draws down.
200 of them yards went to Devontae Smith.
They threw the 9 ball to Devontae Smith. He scores. And I'm not trying to take anything from Tua, but if you watch that game, I didn't look at that game like, man, Tua tearing these people up.
No.
I didn't look at the game like that.
I saw Devontae did.
Yeah, he had
not Tua.
Yeah, I mean, he went 21 for 40, 418 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. That was the best performance by a quarterback all year.
Right.
So, you took down Trevor Lawrence, Jalen Hurts, Jake Fromm, and you not only did you take them down, but you dominated them. And I think that was the difference in the whole season and when they got to the college playoff and why they beat Clemson. It was because David ran to challenge that defense after they lost to Ole Miss. I mean, not lost to Ole Miss, but gave up 30 points to Ole Miss. And they got better as the season went on. I think Shea Song got healthy as the season went on. Him being able to provide that pass rush, that was big. Lawrence was hurt the whole year. Him and Logan, they got healthier. I think that played a big factor into why that defense got better. And when you
started getting healthy,
and when you can rush the passer with that secondary they got with Jacoby Stevens, Grant Delpit, Stingley, and Christian Fulton, you're gonna have problems on that back end if you're trying to get that ball completed on them people. And I think that was the difference in the game. The defense, we know about the offense. We stating the obvious. They don't take a rocket science to figure that out. But I think it was the defense that was the reason why the people really held that national championship trophy.
Man, listen. We got a call on the line. Caller, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Producer,
turn the volume up for us.
Okay, hold on a second.
There we go.
Yeah, can you hear me?
We can hear you now.
Yeah, I'm here.
That's Mr. Jimmy Chase on the line for everybody that's tuning in, man. It's the father of Jamar Chase, the Biletnikoff Award winner, man. Mr. Jimmy, man, I know your phone been ringing off the hook, texts, social media, notifications. Man, I appreciate you for taking the time out your busy schedule, man, to call in, man, and give us your take on an incredible season by the LSU Tigers and your son Jamar, man.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you guys having me, man, and I'm good with talking with y'all, but I can't deal with them other people right now.
Mr. Jimmy, man, just kind of take me through the freshman year last year. Jamar, I think what he had, like 330 yards receiving last year. I think maybe 3 touchdowns or something like that. Just take me through the off season and some of the things that you and Jamar talked about, because I know that was frustrating, last year for him not to get off how y'all thought he was going to get off his freshman year. And to come this season and make a whole 360 and finish with 1,700 yards, 20 touchdowns. That's the most in SEC history. Put up 200 and some yards in the championship game. That's the most ever in a college playoff era. Just talk about that whole, 360 that from his freshman year to his sophomore year.
Well, really, like in his freshman year, it was like they really didn't target him much.
Right.
If they would target him more his freshman year, he would have had more of that. His first catch as a true freshman was really a touchdown in Texas game. They took it away from him. But, everything was there for him, but, they just ran some different schemes, different personnel. They was trying to figure some things out, I guess. But, if he would have had the opportunities, he could have did some of those things that he did this year. But his mindset changed from last year to this year. It was like he figured out, like, he could play with these guys. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He worked hard, and, he just went in there, and they challenged him, and he responded to the challenge. Jamar thing is, he wanted to be the best. So when we went to LSU, because everybody asked me, why y'all pick LSU? And I told him, we're going to LSU because we want to go against the best cornerbacks in the country.
Right.
Best competition. You're going to get it at practice, and you're going to get it in the SEC. And then you can tell where you're at. And once he went through that year last year and he seen how everything was, he just came back with a vengeance, and he was just ready to attack. You know?
Now, Mr. Jimmy, this is Fred. Listen.
Yeah.
What do you think Joe Brady? What was Joe Brady's effect on Jamar this season? Obviously, you see the big production and spike in numbers. What was the effect you think that Joe Brady had on the impact on Jamar Chase to have the impact that he had this season?
I say it was like football IQ and attention to details.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was all with Joe Brady. It was all about the small things, the little things. You know, the things that people don't see, like catching a whole lot of balls. You know, understanding what the defense trying to do to you, and running routes. You know what I'm saying? He just gave Jamar another look at the same thing that he was already looking at. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I talked to Jamar about these things, and I guess he couldn't receive it from me because I'm his daddy. You know, like
right.
Yeah,
That's a real thing.
Yeah. So the coach told him the same thing, but he was able to receive it. You know what I'm saying? Then when he see it, Jamar, you know, me and Jamar talk a lot, and we talk about his learning style. And I say, how do you learn? What's your best way of learning? You know, what's your learning style? I say, seeing or doing. And he learned by seeing. Once you show him what you want, he going to go and do it. And that's what Joe Brady did for him. He showed him what he wants, and he went ahead and did it.
What's up, Mr. Chase? This is Coach Hurricane Hen. You know what I'm saying? Congratulations, champ, baby.
Yeah, man. Thank you, Coach.
Yeah. Now, I remember talking to you over the summer when Devontae and Trey first when they was first allowed to come on campus and start working out. And you was there because I can't remember what camp they just finished, but they just finished one of the camps. And I remember asking you, I said, man, what you thinking about? And you said that, man, if it click, it's trouble for everybody. When in your mind, from when I had talked to you over the summer, at what point in the season were you like, nobody can beat us?
You know, I go to practice like once a week.
Right.
You know, I go out there to practice to see what's going on. And I was at one of the practice. I don't know. It was earlier in the season, and it was like, no, this would happen. It was after the summer, right? The season had started, and I was there for the whole like fall camp. And then when the season started, I came back for another practice, and I was like, Coach, them dudes not dropping no balls. The receiver, right? The receiver crew, they was like so tight with it. I mean, like in practice, they don't drop balls. Nobody let the ball hit the ground. Everything was like clicking. I'm like, man, what's going on out here? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They was running, but it looked like they all had bought into the system, and they was all happy. But they was playing with a pep in their step. And when I seen that, I was like, if they keep doing that, see, they gonna be trouble.
Right.
You know, they gonna be trouble because they was going against the defense, and I couldn't figure out if it was like the defense was bad or the offense was good, or if the defense was good and the offense was bad. You know, you always try to figure that out, right? But you know, the defense will get them at some time, and then the offense will come back and get the defense. So the defense was bad,
right?
Man, like everybody talk about the defense, right, and everything that happened to her. I heard y'all talking about that, but them dudes was hurt in the beginning of the year. Yeah, that's what people didn't understand.
Right.
Them dudes was hurt.
Right.
A couple of people was banged up. So once they healed up and got right, the sky was the limit for them.
Mr. Jimmy, take me back. Jamar's senior year, or was it? It might have been going into his senior year. I can't remember exactly, but I remember everybody thought that Jamar was either going to TCU or Auburn, and that was the big thing. You know, LSU about to let the best receiver in the state, or one of the best receivers in the state, get out the, you know, leave the boot and go to TCU or Auburn. And I remember, I think he was at the Nike opening camp or something, and he was supposed to announce it. that he was going to TCU, and then something happened. Had that not happened where he was able to announce that he was going to TCU, do you think he would have still ended up going to TCU, or how you think things would have played out?
Well, the thing with all of that was like, you know, for a receiver, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of variables that goes into like picking a school.
Right.
Right? Jamar just wanted to catch some balls, right? And that's all he was looking at. Whoever was throwing the ball, like that's where he wanted to go so he can catch the ball.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I say, Jamar, did you look at the depth chart? You know? Did you look and see like how many receivers they got on their team? Like Georgia wanted us so bad. Georgia wanted us so bad that he wanted to go there. But I'm like, Jamal, did you look at the depth chart? They got 15 receivers on their depth chart, and they're a running team.
Right.
It's not that you were scared of competition, but why you want to go into that dumpster fire right there?
Right,
you know?
right.
And then we looked at TCU. They throw the ball a lot, but the receiver with the most catches don't have but 40 catches.
Right.
You know? So, you know, we had to weigh all of those options. Then you got to look for a quarterback. Then you got to look for an offensive system. So, you know, it was all kind of complicated, and we had to decipher through that kind of stuff to figure out, like, where he wanted to go. You know?
What happened? Why he couldn't announce it that day on NFL Network?
That's a good question, man. One guy had got hurt and kind of like broke his leg during the camp.
Okay.
So they had let him talk at halftime. You know, they had him live on air, and I think he went a little over. You know.
Oh,
and
over the time limit.
Yeah, when they did. Yeah, so when he did that, they didn't have time for Jamal. It turned out to be like a little blessing in disguise.
Right. So when he was about to commit to TCU, you wasn't really on board with that so much.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't. But you know, it's like I had to let him go through his process.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Nah. I had to let because the more I fight him, you're gonna do the opposite. You know, he's a kid, and you know he's growing up and he's trying to grow. So he's going through all kind of stuff at the time. You know, a lot of dads go through that with their kids, man. You know, the high profile kids.
Right.
You know, everybody's telling them their God's gifts to the world, and then when they come home, he still got to put out the trash.
Right.
You know, so he looking at me sideways.
Right.
You know.
Right. Now,
but you know, I had to let him go through his process, and you know, he kind of got it on the back end.
Right.
Now, Mr. Jimmy, I got a 2-part question, and I'm about that mess. I'm gonna just put it out here right now. Do you think your son right now is the best college football receiver right now?
You must ain't see his post.
No, this is a question. Because people didn't see his post. I'm asking this question not just for myself.
Because you got some people saying Jerry Judy. You got some people saying C.G. Lamb. I mean, that's what people saying.
I'm going to ask Mr. Do you think your son is the best receiver in college football?
Let's look at it like this. I'm going to say yeah. And I ain't saying that just because I'm his daddy, right? Coach Henry said it a minute ago, right? I don't know if y'all caught that, right?
I caught it. Hey, come on. But my audience hasn't caught it. My audience hasn't caught it. I caught it. But my audience may have not caught it.
Yeah, but I said it, Jim. Y'all sure did.
Now,
go ahead. Let me tell you. Jamal went against the best cornerbacks in the country. He went through about 4 or 5 of them that's supposed to go in the first round.
C.J. Henderson,
and the dude said Jamal gave them the boogaloo shrimp. You know what I'm saying? And like, he ain't just beat them, right? He smashed them.
Right.
All of them. He smashed them. I won't call out no name. He smashed them.
I'll call him out. A.J. Terrell.
C.J. Henderson.
C.J. Henderson.
Diggs from Alabama.
Diggs, and then they put Surtain on him. He told him up too. They're like, man, no more. You know what I'm saying? And then the kid from Texas.
Then the boys from Texas.
Yeah.
Them boys from Texas was supposed to be good. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
So they say.
He killed them, right?
Right.
But let's see who C.D. Lamb went against and who your boy Alabama went against.
Jerry Judy.
You know what I'm saying? Jerry Judy. Who they went against. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that tell you right there. Jamal, everybody played Jamal man-to-man, right, when we played them dudes. And, like, Jamal ate, So, yeah, he the best receiver in the country, bro. He got the Bolitnikov.
Now,
you know what I'm saying?
Now, here's my second part to my question. Because I've made this very known to myself, and I did very, episodes about this. Now, I think some guys should be eligible after their second year for the NFL draft. Do you think a guy such as your son should be eligible for this 2020 NFL draft? Do you think he's ready to be an NFL receiver? Should he be eligible for the NFL draft? Good question.
I'll say, yeah. I'll say, yeah. He could go, because, like, the way I looked at it, it was like the guys that he went up against, them dudes was older than him. You know what I'm saying? Them dudes is upperclassmen, and they going to the league. So, in a way, I mean, he got the body and the physique. And, like, yeah, he can do that. He's going to have a little learning curve, because it's going to be another step in different competition. But this was, I'm going to just say it like this, yeah. Nobody stopped the dude all year. Nobody.
Right.
Okay? Nobody came close. And these are the top corners in the country. Right. The only dude that gave him a little problem, and I wouldn't say a little problem, but the only dude who came close to dealing with him was your boy at Mississippi State.
Cameron Dantzler.
And he gave him some resistance. He gave him some resistance. I was surprised with that, but I don't know if that was the yeah. Okay, well there you go then.
6'2.5".
Yeah, it is. Now, Mr. Jimmy, first of all, before I ask the question, I just want to commend you. Like as a father, we are all fathers up here, and as a high school coach, who keep in touch with all the kids that go off to the colleges, and you'll be surprised how many parents don't keep up with them. And I see you plenty of times at LSU. Most times I'll come up to speak to you. Sometimes I let you sit there because I admire what you do from afar. Because I hope that my son is just, I don't care if it's the lighthouse or the blind or, playing underneath the bridge. I hope I'll be able to be there for my son the way that you are. So I did, and especially as a black father, I don't think this gets highlighted enough. And I'm not saying, look, Joe's a good guy. I'm sure the Burrow family's a good guy. His parents, every game he played in, his parents was already highlighted, and they always talked about them. Not once have I seen them talk about you. I'm just telling you, from somebody who's seen you at practice, from the high school circuit, who, you always handle yourself with class, and you always there for your kids. And not only your kids, but you kind of like the adopted dad. I see you go up there. I see Terrence come up and talk to you. I see Devontae, who probably didn't know you until he stepped foot on campus, and just sit there and talk to you, yes sir, no sir, and you just welcome him in. I just want to say like if nobody tell you, I'm gonna tell you that's huge. I appreciate you doing that, because you don't know how many times I talked to Devontae and his dad be there. Like, man, I talked to Mr. Jimmy, I say, okay, you talk to him, you good, baby, you good, because Lee kind of crazy, you got to deal with him a certain way. But I'm just telling you, they say give people they file while they living. So this is me giving you file, because what you do is amazing. Right. No sports, no nothing that, because at the end of the day, and it's crazy. I'm gonna say it. I don't care how much backlash I get. But you're one of the rare African-American fathers that I see that see his son as a son and not a meal ticket, if that makes sense.
Right.
And what you do, man, it's huge. It's huge. And I don't know if you ever looked at it that way or something, but just don't. I know you won't stop, but don't stop. Don't stop.
Well, hey, I appreciate that, but that comes from, I've been doing that since park ball. I do that with all the kids, where they always at my house.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They always at my house, so, I talk to them just like I talk to my son. And, I don't cut my son no slack, and I don't cut them no slack. The problem with the kids today is, nobody don't tell them the truth.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts, right.
And, you know, I base my thing on telling them the truth, whether you like it or not. You know, I told my son many times before, I say, I'll do you a disservice if I just tell you what you want to hear. I don't care if you like. I'm not here to be your friend. I'm gonna be your advisor, and I'm gonna tell you what's right and what's wrong. You know, because I'm trying to get him ready for when I'm not here. That's all I'm doing, bro.
Right.
Because I ain't gonna be here forever.
Right.
So when I'm gone, I want you to know how to conduct yourself or how to handle your business, and that's all it's about. You know. But I appreciate everything you said, though, bro. I really do.
Right. My question to you is, what's the next advice that you give Jamar? He's won the Biletnikoff, first team All Pro, All American, All SEC, won the national championship. Coming back, how do you get him remotivated to do what he just did?
Man, look, this is like my son blew me away, right? Like after he won the Biletnikoff, we were sitting at the table, you know, we was eating dinner, you know, everybody laughing and giggling, he keen and everything, right? And Jamal reached over to me, looked at me and said, Dad, I got to go work out. He said, I got to go get ready now. He said, it's really about to start now, you know? And that right there told me everything that I need to know. We got to take it up to another level, bro. It's like you can't rest on your laurels, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? For every level, there's another devil. You know, I'm like, you're a monk now. You're a monk man. Every time you go on the field, you know, excuse me, every time you go out on the field, they're coming at you. And Coach Henry was talking about what Oklahoma did. Oklahoma was smart. Oklahoma said, I don't care what y'all do, LSU, Jamar Chase ain't going to beat us.
Right.
Right? And the little cornerback was running around talking about he locked Jamar down, but they had 2 and 3 people on Jamar everywhere he went.
Right. He bracketed
him. He was sick in a Georgia game. Nobody don't know that. He was sick. He couldn't breathe. He had a little cold thing going on and all that kind of stuff. So in this game, I guess, you know, who that was? Clemson, the little defensive coordinator, you know, he said he wants to show us what he was working with, and we found out.
221, 9 catches later.
Right. You know, bro, this happened, and I'm not bragging, I'm not boasting, I'm telling y'all the truth, bro.
Right.
I've seen it myself. It happened every game. All I want to do is see somebody press Jamal, and you can't press him on the line.
Right.
You can't hold him. You know what I'm saying? And he's going to get you. One-on-one, nobody did it this year. Nobody. You know? And that's just the honest truth. Huh? You know?
Mr. Jimmy, man, kind of talk about when you talk about the head coaches around the country, and when you talking about assistant coaches around the country, you know, I've been to a lot of schools, you know, I have a lot of relationship with college coaches, and some of these coaches, you know, they get in front of the camera and they put on this facade like they care about those kids, and, you know, it's a family atmosphere, and we got their best interests at heart. But when you get behind closed doors, it's not so much like that.
Right.
And I know firsthand, you know what's going on. And I'm not asking you to tell me everything that behind the scenes is going on, but I know you know exactly how things are done over there at LSU. Just talk about some of the stuff that, you know, even Joe Burrow said in the Heisman speech about Coach Orgeron. All the stuff that, you know, the receivers said about Joe Brady and Isminga, and Corey, the DB said about Corey Raymond. Kind of touch on what you seen from that coaching staff, far as, you know, having those kids' best interests at heart, not just about on the field, but off the field as well.
Right. Well, I could say this, bro. I could really say this. That dude, Coach O, bro, that dude is like, he the real deal. He real genuine, bro. I mean, like, he told me some things when he was recruiting us, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, like, you know, everything he told me came true. He told me he was going to throw the ball. He told me he was going to get Joe Brady. You know, me and him have a relationship where we could talk, and we talk like real men. And I'm like, Coach, so who you going to get? And I'm like, you going to get this dude? He was like, no, I'm going to get a young guy and a dude from the Saints. That's what he told me. And next thing you know, he had Joe Brady, you know. And, you know, it's like, I kind of like believe Coach O because, you know, he wanted my son so bad. And I looked at it like this, said, Coach O been in the game for like, what, 20, 30 years.
Yeah, he done seen it all.
So when he sees something, the man, and he been there and done that. So I know he know what he know, you know. But he never changed. I go to every, like you said, I go to practice. He the same way at practice. You know, he holler at me. You know, he make sure he say hello. And he ain't feed me no bill of goods.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He ain't feed me no bill of goods. Joe Brady. Me and Joe Brady have a good relationship. You know, I go up to him after every practice or after every game. If something don't happen with Jamal or I don't like what they did with Jamal, I go ahead and tell him.
Right.
And he'd be like, you know, what you got to say now, Mr. J? You know, Jamal done caught 4 balls. I'm like, okay, you got it. You know, we had that type of relationship. Same thing with Mickey. You know, Mickey don't get a lot of credit, but Mickey is a vital part of Jamal. Because if it wasn't for Mickey Joseph, Jamal wouldn't be at LSU. You know what I'm saying? So them dudes, they play a big role, and they still are, like, genuine, even now, with Jamal, you know, after they recruited him. And they like that with all the guys, bro. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they do something in-house, like with the players, behind closed doors.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as, like, when they out with me or in the open, you know, they still the same, bro. You know, coach is going to coach.
Right.
Right.
You know, I don't want them to coach my son soft. I want them to be hard on him, too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But they still the same, bro, from what I see, bro. They still the same.
Now, here's my question to you, Mr. Jimmy. Now, I don't know how big of a college football fan you are as far as watching college football over the past previous years. We're going to ask this question to a lot of our fans later on in our show. You think this 2009 team is the best college football team ever?
Yeah, bro. Let me see. They got the Heisman Trophy winner. They got a Biletnikovic winner.
Say that then.
Right? They won a national championship. Right? They won the SEC. Right? They put up crazy numbers. I mean, like, they played the toughest schedule.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But the biggest thing in college football to me is the schedule, who you played. Right? That's the biggest thing to me. Oklahoma get a pass every year. That's why they're in the playoff every year. They ain't got to be but 2 teams. Alabama and LSU have the hardest schedule every year because they got to play each other. Mm-hmm. Georgia, every time we catch up with Georgia, it's something else. Clemson don't play nobody. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You got to look at the schedule that these people play. Now, you want to compare them to USC, that USC team with Reggie Bush, and that Texas team with
Vince Young.
What's your boy name? The corner?
Vince Young.
Yeah, with Vince Young. You know,
the Miami team. I mean, in 01.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I mean, from what I don't know, bro. I got to sit back and look at it, but from the number standpoint, you know what I'm saying. I think they up there. You know, they look like one of the. Bro, this was a magical year because I was, you know, some games they go into. I'm like. All right, they did this to this team. Bro, they blew Clemson out, bro. Clemson was killing everybody.
Yeah.
They blew them out. And then they still left some points on the ground. On the field. You know what I'm saying? They blew Alabama out. They blew them out in Alabama.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like y'all say, them 2 little catches. Come on, man. That made it look like it was closer than what it was.
Right.
It was a blowout.
Right.
Okay? Georgia. They blew Georgia out. Mm-hmm. Okay? They ain't just beat nobody, bro. They is killing these people.
Right.
Okay? They killing people. And Joe Brady, I mean not Joe Brady, Joe Barrow, when you look at it now, the dude did have too many weapons, bro. Look at the last game. Let me show you this, right? So they was kind of like struggling in the first half. Joe was spreading the ball, throwing the ball around. It was a little rough on him, right? Then once he started hitting Jamal a couple of times in a row, the whole thing bust wide open. That's how it's been the whole year, right? Once they hit Jamal, everything bust wide open. Clyde was able to run the ball. The tight end got open, right? Terrence Marshall got open. Then Jets got open. Man, come on, bro.
Right.
That's how it's been the whole year. And they know that. Joe Brady said, I'm going to hit Jamal first. Once I hit Jamal, then we on our way.
Right.
You know?
Right.
You got to pick your poison. I talked to reporters, and they kept telling me they like Clemson better than LSU. I say, I haven't seen nobody stop this offense. When y'all find somebody to stop this offense, then I'll think about it. Nobody stopped the offense, man. They say Auburn gave him a hard time. Auburn stopped. Auburn didn't stop him. LSU moved the ball up and down the field on Auburn the whole game. They only had problems in the red zone. They made a few miscues, but it was bad play calling, you know. Mm-hmm. But other than that, they was moving the ball on them.
You know? I think that was their toughest game, far as from a defense standpoint against Auburn, though.
Right.
Yeah, that front three was phenomenal.
It's phenomenal. Derek Brown and all the rest of those guys.
Yeah.
They're pretty good front line.
No, they were some dogs now. I ain't taking nothing away from them. Them dudes was good, but that was our first time getting some resistance, LSU, in that game right there. Other than that, they had been walking through everybody.
Right.
So, Florida gave them a little resistance, but when they got to Auburn, they got some real good resistance in the first half, you know. But that was their first time seeing that.
That's my last question.
Mr. Jimmy, I guess my last question to you now would be, what's the recruiting pitch to get kids to come to LSU now? Like for instance, so let's say 2 years from now, there's another kid. Let's say Rumble, just like Coy and Jamal. Like, all right, look, we got these schools. You know, why pick LSU over Bama, Georgia? You know, why pick them right now? What would you say to them?
I'm going to go with LSU, bro. I mean, like, bro, Louisiana kids are different, right? I've been all over the country. We've been to Florida. We've been to Georgia. We've been out there to California. We've been to Texas. We different, bro, from them dudes, bro. And you know what it is? We got heart and toughness, and, you know, it's like we persevere through stuff like that. You know, Florida got kids, they real fast, but they don't have, you know, they got, some of them got to go see the wizard. Texas got kids that's real big. Some of them got to go see the wizard. You know what I'm saying? Dudes in Louisiana, a lot of them don't have to go see the wizard, man. You know,
they gotta go see the
toughness.
They gotta go see the PO.
What? Come on, man.
Hey, just keep it a bag.
Keep it down.
Hey, that might be true, but you know, you gotta get some people in there to help them out. That's
Right.
where I come in at.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's where I come in at.
Work some quality control.
Right. You know, but once they find that out, right, and they see how it go, you know, they're better off. People in Louisiana gonna take care of you better than what you would do if you would go out of state. You know, that's what kids don't understand. Once you leave Louisiana and go to another school out of state, they ain't gonna treat you right. I'm just saying, that's just my experience. You know what I'm saying? That's just my experience.
Now, Mr. Jimmy, my last question before we let you go, that is something that I kind of want to get into with you, because I know you know all about that recruiting process. And, you know, I talk to a lot of kids and parents and, you know, coaches, and transferring is at an all-time high. Every time I wake up in the morning, is this person in the transfer portal, this person in the transfer portal. You know, kids are just transferring.
Texas back a quarterback in the transfer portal.
Yeah. Kids are just transferring left and right. It's like, it's like a college free agency. And my personal opinion, I think the reason behind all of that is because these kids are picking schools for the wrong reasons. And, you know, when you talk to some of these kids, some of these parents, and you see where their mindset at and what they're looking for in the school, is like, it's really mind-boggling, because it's like the things that they're looking for in the school, it has nothing to do with that kid's success on and off the field, in my personal opinion.
Right.
And what would your advice be to some of these parents, preferably the parents, because the kids don't know no better? Well, what would your advice be to those parents that's going through that process with a kid that's, you know, highly touted and trying to figure out what's the best fit for him on and off the field at a school?
Well, it's like it's not so much the parent. Is what I'm finding out. It's like a lot to do with the kids, because the kid think they're grown and they know better than the parent because somebody else is giving them. They're being informed by misinformed people, and then the kids kind of like used to having their way. When you got highly touted kids, and that's the hardest thing in the world to deal with, right? Because it's like, people not telling them no. And soon as they get some resistance or somebody tell them no, they going the other way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, the grass is not greener on the other side. They don't think it through, man. It's like a knee-jerk reaction.
Right.
I had stopped a couple of guys from transferring from LSU because I'm like, well, where you gonna go? Why you gonna go now? What you gonna do?
Right.
It's like you're not thinking, man. You're not thinking. And it's like some of the parents, they, I'm gonna just talk about mine. My thing is, I'm not here to satisfy Jamal. I'm not here to pacify him. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You making some decisions and you dealing with adults, something that you ain't never dealt with before. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to allow you to do that on your own without having somebody experience some of the things that you've been through. I think I relate more to these kids, right? And the reason why is because I did that when I was in high school.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm so hard on my son. That's why I'm with him all the time, because Jamal think he's God gifts to the world. He just think God came down and zapped him. You don't know that thing come from a pipeline in our family. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Me, my brother, my uncles, and all of that, right? But we didn't have that guidance that he got, to do the things that he's doing. And it would always take one mistake and he could lose it all. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I'm trying to get him from making that one mistake that I did, because I left school when the coach didn't play me in front of Mississippi boys, but I was in Mississippi. So they played the Mississippi boys first, and then I had to sit down and watch that. So I said, I'm going to fix them. I'm transferring or I'm leaving.
Right.
And then I come home and I don't go to no school. I'm watching dudes that I played with that I'm better than play on TV. You know what I'm saying? And the next thing I say, pour me a drink. You know what I'm saying?
I'm about to say, here come that boy, man, 2020. Back in the day.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah, that kind of stuff, bro. So it's like you have to weigh out all your options, and just not make a knee-jerk reaction. You know what I'm saying? Just don't do it off of your emotions. Plan it out, weigh your pros and your cons, and then make your decision, bro. That's all I can say.
Well, Mr. Jimmy, when you know how that recruiting talk go, you go to all these different schools, everybody telling you what you want here.
That's slick talk. Slick talk.
You got this coach telling you this, you got this coach telling you that. And that's what I'm really trying to get to. How are you able to decipher who is telling you the real and who is telling you the fake? Because once you sign your name on the dotted line, that's where you gotta go. And that's what you see. That's why you see so many kids transferring, because they listening to everything, anything the coach tell them, or anything somebody in player personnel or whatever they telling them when they go to these schools, and they really not evaluating the whole situation.
And that's it right there. They're not evaluating the whole situation. I told you, when you got to look at what position you play, right? And then you got to look at the variables that come with that position. And wide receiver and quarterback is two of the hardest positions to make a decision about what school you're going to, because you got to look at the system, right? You got to look at the offensive system. You got to look at the coaches, what kind of program he running or what kind of offense he running. You got to look at the talent around you, because you got to depend on somebody else to get you the ball as a receiver.
Right.
And then as a quarterback, you got to depend on somebody to catch the ball. You know what I'm saying? Running back, you just hand it to him, he can go.
Right.
DB, you just put him out there, he could play. You know what I'm saying? So you got to look at all of these kind of things. What the depth chart look like? You know what I'm saying? The kids just be like, oh yeah, that's where I want to go. Okay, well that's where you want to go. You got to deal with all that. Are you willing to deal with that?
Right.
And the coaches could tell you whatever you want to hear. They can make it sound all good and everything. But you know, the thing with recruiting is like they give you all of these options, and it's up to you now to figure out where you want to go, because what they're telling you is just what they're telling you. You have to do your research.
Right.
You have to do homework. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You can't just close your eyes and pick a school. You really have to look at this thing and decide. You know, you got to keep the home thing in factor. You know, Jamal wanted to go way to Florida or way to Texas, right? And it's like, Jamal, I'm not going to be able to make it to all the games, but I'm going to just tell you that straight up.
Right.
He was like, nah, Dad, I ain't worried about that, bro. I know you're going to be there. I said, no, hold on, bro. I'm serious. He said, man, Dad, you're going to be there. Because he's used to me being at the game.
Right.
He ain't never played and not seen me at a game. So I said, that's the first thing I told him. I said, all right, bro, I ain't going to be able to make it. He was like, nah, you're going to be there. I said, okay, you think I'm playing? You know, so now he at LSU, and he's happy as I don't know what. Because now he realized, you know, like what would have happened. He's homesick in Baton Rouge, bro. Okay?
Right.
In Baton Rouge. You see? So just think if he was in Florida somewhere.
Right.
You know?
Having that
And they
support
don't
system
look at all
big.
this.
That's the thing. Having that support system is huge when you talk about, you know, 17, 18-year-old, 19-year-old kids.
Yeah, and then that's their first major decision of their life, choosing a university for a lot of these kids.
Man, some of these guys ain't never been nowhere. They ain't never left home.
Yeah. Right.
Or they ain't never left the state of Louisiana. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Then when you get there, you ain't got no food. The food ain't good. You know, Louisiana got us all messed up, man. We can't go nowhere. You can't get no cheese in your grits and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, man, you gotta pay for cheese in your grits. You gotta pay for them. They ain't got no Tony Satchels.
Hey, bro.
They ain't got no Cold.
That's real.
They ain't got no brothers. What he supposed to do without brothers?
That's real.
Right.
He from the city.
Right.
Everybody know what brothers is.
Can't get your hot sauces pool boy.
You don't even know what hot sauces is. They gonna give you the red hot links. You step out of these states.
They're gonna give you some biscuits and gravy, right?
and tell you come back. Come back to this. What is that?
Right.
At least give a brother some French toast.
Gotta be
And now all my son is eating is waffles and Captain Crunch. You know what I'm saying, bro?
Right.
Yeah, bro. You know, but they got to take all of those things into consideration. You know, when they're making this move, because it's a lifetime event. It's a life-changing event, and they're so happy to get. I see a lot of these dudes is happy to get all this attention.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They're happy to do that, but they don't look at the whole process, man. And I had to, you know, try to keep Jamal focused. I let him run off and do his thing. This is what they do to kids, bro. This is what I seen it for myself, right? They put them in them uniforms, and then they play that Kodak Black, right? They got the music bumping, and they all dressed up in the suits, and like, yeah, Dad, this is where I won't go. I'm like, is you kidding? Are you kidding me? Right? All you're doing is dancing in a uniform to Kodak Black.
Right.
You think that's what y'all gonna be doing? You know, but the kids buy into that, bro.
Right.
That's why you see all of them pictures and them photos with them uniforms on.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how they get them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Well, man, Mr.
It's
Jimmy,
a rough game, bro.
Man, I appreciate you calling in, man, and giving us your take on, you know, unbelievable season by Jamal, and just your whole take on the whole process with recruiting, and you know what it is to be a father to your son and be there for him like you do. Now hopefully we can get you on again soon, man, and hopefully we can get Jamal on there with you too.
Yeah, bro. I appreciate y'all having me. Like I said, I'm always watching, bro. I be watching from afar. You know, my little world was crazy for a minute. You know, it's starting to slow down a little bit.
Right.
But you guys are doing a great job, bro, with what y'all doing, bro. And it's very, very helpful and informative at the same time, bro, because that's what we need down here, bro. We have the best athletes in the country, in Louisiana.
Right.
They're just being informed by misinformed people, bro. And then, you know, they don't understand how, like, I'm going to say this before I go. They don't understand how LSU offer goes, right?
Right.
It's like when LSU offer you, they can't take the offer away.
Right.
So before they offer a Louisiana kid, they got to make sure they know what they know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And if they don't get that offer off the bat, like them other schools, the dudes is bent out of shape. Because, like, you know, they ain't really want me. Now they want to come and get me at the end and all this. It was a lot of stuff that went into that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And these kids don't understand that, and now they get an attitude, and they be like, I'm going to fix them. I ain't going to LSU. And then they go somewhere else, and they, you know, kind of like mess themselves up. And then now they all mad, bro.
Right.
So,
right.
You know, nobody don't give them that information, though.
At all. At all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Appreciate you. I appreciate you, Mr. Jimmy, man. I know your phone going to be still ringing off the hook for about another couple of weeks, especially with that parade coming up Saturday, man. Don't have too much fun out there, huh?
Yeah, bro. I need to, though, bro.
I'll see you in the spring, Mr. Jimmy. Look, I see you practice number 2. I already got it marked out.
6 weeks from Wednesday.
Hey, I know it.
Yeah. I'm going to be there.
Listen, I appreciate it, Mr. Jimmy. Listen, man, Mr. Jimmy Chase, father Jamar Chase, national champion, LSU Tigers.
Don't forget the Blendikoff.
Blendikoff for War One.
You gotta say it with some excitement.
Go Tigers.
If Michigan would have won, you would have been all.
I've been ecstatic right now. You wouldn't be here right now. I'll be on cloud 11. Forget cloud 9.
Last time y'all won a national championship?
Man, go ahead, man.
Why you gotta be
with all
that? Why you gotta bring me the old shit?
Go ahead with all that.
Hey, bring the old shit.
Evan, when the last time LSU won a national championship? Monday, baby. Woo!
They bring them old shit.
Get your shine on. Get your shine on. Get your shine on.
All day long.
Get your shine on. Get your shine on.
Listen, man. So many comments from Mr. Chase, man. You know, right now we got a lot of streams for people from LSU Nation. But we got to ask the question. Is the 2019 LSU Tigers, are they the best team in college football history? From back from the start of the CBS, and there was CFB now and the BCS. Are they the best team in college football history?
It's just hard to make that a decision on something like that because the different eras of football.
Okay.
You know, back then, when I think that Miami team, from an individual talent standpoint, they probably had more star power than this LSU team. But from a team, top to bottom, and the type of offense LSU is running, it's hard for me to pick against LSU.
Right. Agreed.
So that's where I'm torn at. And then you go and talk about the Nebraska team with Tommy Frazier winning that triple option. I don't know if anybody in today's game could stop that triple option with Tommy Frazier. And that whole defense played in the NFL damn near.
Right.
So it's just different eras. I would love to see it, I tell you that. I would love to see it.
The 2001 Miami team versus the 2019, it'll be box office.
I would love to see it. But we've never seen an offense ran
like this LSU
offense. Joe Burrow had a 76% completion rate. That is like crazy to me.
And only one person ever, Colt McCoy had beat him by like 0.3%.
60 touchdowns in 15 games.
5,700 yards.
60 touchdowns in 15 games. Like, dude, like that's not gonna be broken for a long time. That's not gonna be broken for a long time. Like that record might stand at that point for about a good 20, 30 years.
Unless they come out with something
different offense. It may stay there for a while.
I just don't see, I don't see nobody throwing for 60 touchdowns in 15 games. Because for one, if you're throwing for that many touchdowns, that means you're gonna have to get to a conference championship. Then you're gonna have to get to a national championship.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be hard for somebody to do that. And this LSU team is the only team in the history to beat 4 teams in the preseason poll, or in the top 4 in the preseason poll, with a margin of victory of 21 points. Like, I can't make that up. Those
are just the facts.
Right.
Those are just the facts.
Right. I mean, I can't make that up. And, I thought I tweeted on Twitter, I thought that Georgia game was going to be close. Man, they made Georgia look silly. They made Georgia look silly. They made Oklahoma look silly. They made Jalen Hurts look like he shouldn't even be drafted in the top 4, top 5 rounds of the draft. David Randall did a great job, like I talked about it earlier. He got that defense to really come alive. And like Mr. Jimmy Chase said, they got healthier with Lawrence, Shea Song, Logan, Grant. Those guys got healthier.
Jacob Phillips played with a separated shoulder the whole year, and then nobody realized he did not get healthy until after Florida. You're talking about 7 weeks.
And then with the whole divinity thing. Like divinity going out.
I was about to say they had adversity this year.
That was another big thing.
Him not being able to play for a couple of games and having to get to come back.
But I'm gonna tell you who stood up this year, and I felt like he might need to consider going to the draft. Patrick Queen.
He gone.
Oh, he declared?
He gone.
I didn't even see.
I
didn't even see. But Patrick Queen,
he shouldn't. He would. If he would have came back, whoever was his coach should have really said, "Look, you would never be hotter than right now."
Right. Patrick Queen, his sideline running ability, his pass coverage, being able to play in space. That's what I was so impressed with him this year. He was a running back in high school.
People forget that.
He was a hell of a running back. A lot of people recruit him at running back. But, LSU moved him to Mike linebacker, and he was a dog. He had a hell of a game against Clemson in the national championship. I think he had like a sack, 2 TFLs. He had like 9 tackles. He led him in tackles. He made a lot of places in space against Etienne. That if he don't make that tackle, Etienne going to hit his head on the goalpost.
Well, he hit his head on the goalpost in Ohio State. The same plays that was there. He erased them.
Right. So Patrick Queen, I think he had a hell of a season filling in for Michael Divinity when Divinity went out. Jacoby Stevens, I was surprised he came back. I didn't think he was going to be a first or second round pick, but I thought he could have been a third or fourth round pick. I thought he had a hell of a season.
It's smart if he came back and asked them to let him play a full season at linebacker.
Jacoby Stevens?
Yeah. Because he's going to get put at linebacker in the league. You think
he's too big?
Well, he's uncomfortable in space. And that's the to me, he reminds me of that Roy Williams type player.
Yeah.
But
he had a big hit against Ross in the national championship.
He gave somebody a whiplash. You just see him break your neck, like Buster say, baby. That's what we're doing. I think him coming back, Chase on look like he's coming back.
Well,
and that's shocking.
Because Chason knows that he's a top 15, top 20 talent. Right now, he probably going third round because he didn't have a production.
Well, no, I think outside of he's the third best pass rusher in this draft.
But I think
outside of Chase Young,
I think the durability
AJ,
issue.
But somebody's still going to look. Somebody took Arden Key.
Arden Key went like 4th round.
Third round.
That's what I'm saying. I think
that's with off the field issue.
But why? If you know you're a first round talent, why not come back and solidify that the next year when you know you're gonna be healthy? Instead of going to the draft and going third, 4th round. Because I personally think he's gonna get picked third, 4th round.
Look, to me, as an LSU fan, I'll be more than happy to have him guys back. You talk about him and Steve's on the outside. Tyler Selman said he's coming back. Glenn Loder's coming back. Neil Farrell's coming back. Holy shit! You got Dante Starks who redshirt this year. You got Michael Baxfield.
I think he's gonna be. He the next Deion Jones.
Okay. we got to call him.
He the next Deion Jones.
Sorry, Mr. Producer.
Caller, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Let's call me Mr. Football.
There he is.
So when y'all know I call, he'll say, that's Mr. Football on the line. How y'all doing tonight?
How you doing?
Before we get into all this stuff, explain to me what is wrong with Odell Beckham Jr.? Can somebody tell me this? He got mental issues.
Well, I mean, we might as well hop into it. So, this is my take on the whole Odell Beckham thing, okay? People saying, what was he thinking? And he shouldn't have gave him money and, all this. Look, should he have gave him the money on the 50-yard line with 100 cameras in his face? No, he shouldn't have. But just like Marcellus Wiley said today, and Dominique Foxworth said today, this dude ain't commit no crime. People are acting like he pulled a gun out or something.
Wait a minute. He done put the NCAA
it's a league.
Qualifications or eligibility in the question.
I understand that. I understand that. But this is my point. Listen to the angle I'm going at. I'm not saying that he shouldn't have done that. Like, he shouldn't have done that. But people are like ridiculing this dude like he pulled out some marijuana or like he pulled out like he actually committed a crime. Like they are really like assassinating this man's character. That's my issue. Okay? You know, his alumni just won a national championship. He's excited. You could tell he was full of something. I don't know what it was.
Full of that, bro.
He was full of something. Okay, he was having a good time. He was funny. He was overwhelmed.
Yeah, I know y'all was going to defend that.
If that's just like if you know I graduated from LSU or Oklahoma and I played there and they won a national championship, I'm gonna act a fool. Now I'm not saying I'm gonna give people money at the 50-yard line, but I'm gonna act a fool. And people might be saying, man, G tripping out there, man, because that's you know you could tell he was overly excited, but we gotta stop saying that. Attacking his character as if he's a bad person because of this. That's my whole point.
Let me say this.
Tyrone Matthew was down there.
Yeah, but
nobody did that but him.
But see, but this is my whole.
And I've never heard nobody ever do that before.
This is my whole angle, and you just made a hell of a fine point. You had Tyrone Matthew, Ryan Clark, Tre'Davious White, Jarvis Landry, Bulldog McFarland. Marcus Spears, Greedy, Devin White, all this stuff, and Odell. Okay, Patrick Peterson was all that. This is my thing. All those guys are excited that they won a national championship. Okay, that's first and foremost. Here's the thing. Now, Juice go just as hard as Odell. A lot of people don't realize that, but Juice, Jarvis Landry party just as hard as Odell. But it's how you do it. It's how you do it. There's a time and a place for everything. First and foremost, if nobody else should know the rules, Odell should know the rules because he played there. All right, you know that's considered. What he just did is the clear cut thing of what the NCAA don't want happen. That's considered a booster action. So first of all, we just talked to Mr. Chase. All right, if that's Jamar and not Justin Jefferson grabbing the money for him, he's ineligible for the rest of his college career. That's point blank fact, period. He took money, it's proven, you know what I'm saying?
Well, not if you give it back.
You took it.
It's fair. He took it.
But they said long as they told John J. Kirkland, as long as you get the money back, he good. That's what they said.
They say that just like the same thing what happened with Johnny Manziel, and he's still gonna get suspended. You still gonna get suspended for something, and you might have to vacate something. Now I don't think they're gonna go to the vacating route. 2, Odell went too far. He went above and beyond to be seen. You can clearly see. Like everybody else is walking. Good job. Like you barely see the rest of the alumni. He's running, jumping on the NFL set, jumping on Carmelo, all stuff. He's doing too much. Coach O is having a speech
to his team.
He interrupts the speech. It's a security guard right there who is he's a cop doing detail. He is a cop. He's not no regular like rent a cop. He's a real cop. He smacks him on the ass. All right. Your own camera. Now, what I would say is the cop handled it a hell of a lot better than what because it could have got ugly. He could have literally put that guy in handcuffs right then and there, and then it killed the whole
movie. Did you see the video?
Yeah, I saw the video.
Right. Somebody did that. I don't know who it was.
You know.
Are you a joke?
No, he too. It's too much. He did too. Now, I heard some people saying that LSU should disavow Odell. Look, you're dumb as hell. You do that because you just disavow him when he gave free equipment. When he gave out all this stuff, no. All you do is, all right, a situation happened that nobody ever seen done before. Now you just put rules in place. Mm-hmm. That's it. That's all you do. But he got to answer for his own actions. But my thing is, don't put somebody else in trouble.
In jeopardy.
Yeah,
exactly,
you know what I'm saying? Look, we know where you going. You going back to Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? Somebody like Jactre, you know what I'm saying, if NCAA wanted to be assholes, they can real deal be assholes because that's a booster act.
My thing is, first of all, let's get something very clear. New Orleans niggas, and I don't mean CCAS play too damn much. Niggas play too much, dog. Real, no, this is a real thing. New Orleans niggas play too much. And this whole act of Odell Beckham, he's playing the whole damn time. He's giving kids money. He playing too damn much. You sitting here talking in an interview with Coach O doing his speech. You playing too much. You're smacking the guy in the behind the office. You playing too much, dog. New Orleans niggas. You can't hold. You can't take him nowhere. He back at home, full of that brown.
How many touchdowns Odell had this year?
This year,
like
3,
5,
if that.
Like this was like his lowest.
Yeah, you play too much, dog.
He didn't have 1,000-yard receiver.
You play too much, bro. You made this. Here's the problem. You made this about Odell Beckham, and when reality is this, we need to be wanting to see you just score touchdowns, not in a negative way.
Right.
If you want the promotion of Odell Beckham, you need to do this from a in-game yards, touchdowns position. You made a national championship game that, let's keep us 1,000 since we're talking facts. Your team lost. Your LSU team lost. This was about these guys and what they achieved. And now you're depressed.
Right.
Why?
Right.
Why is that? Because New Orleans niggas play too much.
You know what I'm going to see?
Just being
real. He is a Pac-Man Jones dude. You know what I say when I mean that? People talk about Pac-Man. He went to all them different teams. Oh, Pac-Man. Everything you talk about Pac-Man was off the field. Pac-Man, I can't name a Pac-Man on the field or highlight whatever. I can tell you about Pac-Man when he was in that club in Memphis. I can tell you about Pac-Man when he was in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you Pac-Man ran back a 101-yard kickoff return. I don't remember that. I don't remember Pac-Man with a 98-yard interception return. I can tell you about Pac-Man off the field. That's all I can tell you.
Y'all gotta understand something new. Like again, let me
read that comment.
Now I want to read this comment. The guy named Mike Shaw says this. He's part of LSU's nation right now. He said, as an officer, smack me in the moment, Odell. Damn, enjoy the moment, please. It's all a mindset at the moment. Damn, I would have let them smack me. Beat me to be there in that moment. I do understand the disrespect, Coach O, but damn. Talking about Odell. Like, enjoy the moment, appreciate the moment.
Right.
I understand what Mike Shaw is trying to say. You know, you're in the moment. It's a national championship win. Enjoy it. Half them damn kids from New Orleans. Or this, you know, let's just be real. Half these kids are recruited out of this metropolitan area. Yeah. And so their team enjoy the moment. I understand what I'm trying to say. But I don't respect this.
I'm going to throw another.
Why he trying to make some kids
I'm going to throw another curve at you. What is it with wide receivers?
Divas, baby.
You can stop. You can stop right now. You can stop right there.
Prima donnas.
They prima donnas, baby. Look, you never see a wide receiver go out there. Look, as lunch pail, work hard, Larry Fitzgerald is. You never see him go out there without the best cleats. The prettiest gloves, his jersey tucked up. Yeah. Look, the man almost 50 years old. He's still trying to show he still got abs.
I'm going to call out some other names, and you tell me the difference. Steve Largent. I'm going to say Dan Amendola, Julian Edelman. I'll say Reggie Wayne. They're your boy. Never does that.
Hold on now.
Catch the ball
Reggie,
and throw it to the ref and keep going.
Reggie. Nah, hold on. Reggie did. Now you got to get where he from.
Reggie did what?
He'll catch a ball and draw it to the ref. You know that's look. That's
first of all, you got T.O., Randy Moss, Chris Carter.
Look,
Divas, baby.
We born with the swag gene now. Listen, I don't care what generation it is. You got some type of swag gene.
Let me ask y'all a question because I'm gonna continue to take this angle because I stick by this and I'm gonna stand by this. If Odell Beckham didn't have priors, like kicking in the net on the sideline, kissing in the net, you know, getting into Freddie Kitchens on the sideline, getting caught in a hotel room with drugs all over the place and pizza. If he hadn't had these prior incidents and he had done that Monday night, would this be such a big deal? I don't think so.
No, it wouldn't. But
I don't think so. So that's my point. That's my point. What he did, should he have done that? No. I'm gonna be the first one to say that. That was not smart at all. But people are acting like
eligibility at question now.
And look, he shouldn't have done it. He made a mistake. But we acting like he committed a crime.
He didn't.
No, but that's the people that when you look on social media and you listen to some of these people on these TV networks, they are talking like this dude committed a crime. Like
they don't understand New Orleans niggas.
But hold on. But technically, well, first of all, he did commit a crime. I don't care. It's small. He assaulted a police officer.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about strictly on the field with the money incident.
But here's the thing. All right, let me ask you. We all got sons.
I got a 15-year-old wide receiver.
If your son
did that to my kid in the middle of the championship, I'd have been pissed.
Your son is. Let's say your son played for LSU. All right. Let's say your son is John Trey Kirkland. Odell put money in his hand. Your son from down here too. Like, Dad, Odell gave me something. You know what I'm saying? You like, cool. And then 2 weeks later, NCAA say, all right, Jeremiah Gray, your son is ineligible.
At the same time,
it's not no. My thing is like it's one of those like the consequences far outweigh the action. This could, because like the NCAA at some point can say, you know what, he's ineligible. It's a clear booster act. You forget that same act is what is deeper, but that same act forced Reggie Bush to give his Heisman back, USC to vacate wins, trophies, Pete Carroll to get the hell out of Dodge. That's the same act that we're talking about. Just because it was in the moment and good fun, this is possible ramification. I'm not saying it will be, but this is, you put my kid at jeopardy.
New Orleans niggas.
This is my personal opinion. If that was my child, if that was my son, I would expect my son to know better than to take the money.
He in the moment too. Here's the thing.
In the moment.
He is 18, 19.
You 26, 27.
Bruh.
Grown man.
You think John Trey Kirkland don't know that if he take money, he will be ineligible? Yes or no?
I'm going to be 100% real. I'll be saying the same thing, and I've said it. I'll be saying the same thing, whether it was Odell, Jarvis, Jamal,
Tyrann,
the prominent black, and if T-Bob, Abel, Jacob Hester, Matt Flynn, if one of them was to do the same thing, I'll be saying the same damn thing. Because at the end of the day, I'm about the kids, and you put the kid in jeopardy. I don't care how you rap it, how you put the kid at jeopardy.
And it was real. Dez Bryant. If it wasn't for Deion Sanders meddling with that boy, he would have still had his eligibility. Now, did he grow up? No, he never did. And unfortunately, he turned out to be one of the, to me, a bust. I hope he never make the Hall of Fame. Like, I found out today, they're not going to put Drew Pearson in the Hall of Fame. Why? The Hail Mary was named after Drew Pearson.
I don't even know who that is.
I don't know what it is.
He played wide receiver for the Cowboys?
You don't know who Drew Pearson is?
He played wide receiver for the Cowboys.
What year he was at with the Cowboys?
Probably 77.
Oh, yeah. I was born in 84, man.
But when they threw that pass, when Stormback threw that pass, they say it's a Hail Mary, we're going to have to pray. He the one caught it. They was playing Minnesota in the cool one day. He slipped behind them, and the ball fell in his hand. He crossed the goal line.
I can't recall. I'm about to go to NFL classes.
I got to go to NFL films for that one.
But back to what I was saying.
I want to read this one comment.
Slide to the side.
I'm going to slide to the side. I want to read this one comment.
Go ahead.
Bruce Dale Carter Jr. says this. So putting college players' eligibility in jeopardy is not a crime. Question mark. A 18-year-old does not understand as much as a 28-year-old professional.
Man, listen. When you come in as a true freshman, these people compliance sit down with you and tell you, look.
Hold on. I know you going there. But do you realize who LSU compliance officer is? Who the fuck is looking to Derek Pansky for that damn long?
I don't even know who it is.
So what does he say? Welcome to LSU.
Listen. Listen. You're being educated. You're being informed.
Yeah.
And secondly, I don't know if John J. Curley comes from a two-parent home, but if he does, or if he or whatever, I'm sure they've educated their child on. Look, you can't take money. You can't do this. This happens all the time in sports. You should be educated on it. If that was my son, hold up. If that was my son, and my son took the money, I'm not blaming Odell Beckham because that's what you got a choice. Mm-hmm. You got a choice to say, man, nah, man, you tripping, man, I can't take that money. That's what he should have done. So we trying to blame Odell Beckham for this. Should he have done it? No, I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna say it 1,000 times. He shouldn't have given the money. But Jontre Kirkland should have said to himself, man, I'm tripping. I can't take this money.
Right. Look,
you got a choice. That's like if Odell Beckham. Let's say they in a club somewhere and Odell Beckham hand him some marijuana.
Yeah, right.
And so because they in the moment, you got to be like this. Oh yeah, we want to keep that marijuana and start smoking it. Yeah, you got a choice. You have a choice.
I totally agree with you.
I'm gonna say like Red
I totally agree,
Friday.
but he shouldn't have put that. The situation shouldn't have been handled. That's what I'm getting to. We shouldn't even be talking about this because the situation should have never happened. Now, if you want to be that dude, and trust me, we all know those dudes. You smart enough to know, hey, there's a camera right there.
Right.
This is the national championship. There's cameras all around everywhere. If I'm gonna be that guy, look, we talking about the same. You in the same place where Mike Dicker got fined for doing that shit. He lost a bet to one of his coaches, and he passed money on the sideline in the game, and he got brought down for it.
You think they're playing? You think NCAA playing about their money? You didn't drag my university into this?
Man, all it was, it looked like it was about $500. $500 a game.
That band was more than $500.
Huh?
That band was more than $400. When he pulled it out, my mom was going so much.
Look. It looked like he gave Justin about $800.
Yeah, he gave.
It looked like he got Jontre the leftover. Like, here, man, take that $400. That's what it looked like. But
he gave him a good bit.
But
all day playing.
But all I'm saying is, bro, you playing for a prestigious university like LSU, man, them dudes know about taking gifts and taking benefits and stuff like that. Jontre Kirkland should have known not to take the money. Justin Jefferson said he came out and said, like, man, I ain't no college athlete no more.
Yeah, he already know.
So he knew what he was doing.
He knew what he was
doing. So how he's educated and Jontre Kirkland's not?
I didn't say he wasn't. I never said he wasn't educated. My thing is, if you love the if you love the university enough to celebrate,
level of maturity. Would you agree?
To celebrate this national championship and to be happy about it and all that stuff. Love your university enough to not put them in that.
And Mr. Football, what did you say?
Everybody got a different level of maturity. I'm gonna say that to you. They got a different level of maturity on your panel. Between me and y'all, between me and Terry, they got a different level of maturity. Mm-hmm. Everybody didn't go through the same system. So I'm saying in the moment, if kids say, "Oh, this dude, dog, give me that money, dog." And that's all I'm saying. And I just think he put them children in jeopardy. And in the moment, you don't know no better. You just hype. You glad y'all won. Y'all undefeated. Your mom and them in the stands. You're looking for them. You looking for your girl. Man, he over there giving you some money. You grabbed a cigar. Now, the Superdome coming back talking about they're going to press charges on people smoking in the building. Yeah. Dude, it's the national championship team. You ain't going to press no charges on nobody.
Yeah, they just...
You want to be the most unpopular people in Louisiana?
Nah. Let me ask y'all this. Because this is the bigger question. This is the bigger question. I want to know why nobody touching on this, and I know why. The elephant in the room. Joe Burrow came out on a podcast when LSU came out and said it was counterfeit money.
Yeah.
Right? They said it was counterfeit money. Joe Burrow comes out on a podcast and says, "I'm not a college athlete anymore. Money. It was real money.
It was real money."
So why ain't nobody shedding light on it? Because I think had he just went along with it and said it was counterfeit money, the NCAA wouldn't even be investigating this right now. So why ain't nobody shedding light on Joe Burrow selling the university?
You're correct, sir. I go agree with you. Joe Burrow said it was real money.
It was real money.
Had he not said it on that podcast,
it wouldn't be talked.
The NCAA would not be investigated. Would the matter? But because he came out and said that on the podcast, his true self came out.
I'm gonna go.
Come on, man. Why nobody talking about that? You don't see the media blowing that up, dude.
I'm gonna say just like the St. Aug thing. Who was the person in the locker room with the video camera filming him slapping the coach on the man on the butt? Who did that and who posted that?
It was live.
No
idea.
It was live.
I have no idea. Probably somebody that player personnel or something.
It was live. No, it was from Damian Lewis. It was.
Oh, so that was offensive line.
Yeah, he didn't post like he had the picture. He had somebody going live on his Instagram that he was talking to like, you know, we done it. We, you know, the temple, you know, because he one of those 4-year seniors. You know, we done it. You know, blood, sweat, tears. And, you know, he's showing off his shirt and stuff. And the officer leans over at him, so the guy kept recording, and Odell comes out of nowhere, slapped the man on the butt, and then start about get the gat.
Yeah, he like get the gat.
You know, like.
Oh, it was that Triller thing. Get the gat. That's what that was.
No,
but
that's what he started saying.
That what Odell started saying. But my thing was, it wasn't like the Antonio Brown situation where somebody's videoing it and then, like, you know, they posting, like, this was like from his personal page, like it was. Right. It wasn't the whole locker room. It was just on him, and then by the cop leaning over, and then Odell being Odell, of course, it gets more publicized.
Now, Michael Shaw says
Hurricane.
Hurricane. I want to read a couple of comments here.
Nobody bring no cameras in the locker room. I don't want that in there. Like, it's Hurricane bachelor party. Put your camera up, bro.
Whoa, what bachelor? Hell on, I'm married. There ain't no more bachelor party. Hell on that.
Don't you hit the bus.
Disregard what he said, baby. I'm coming home. Shit on that.
His wife watching. His wife's watching.
Well, you saw what happened. You saw what happened at St. Aug. My son was in the locker room.
Come on, man. So your son was on that team?
Huh?
Your son was on that team this year when they went down with the knocking loose.
Yes, sir. He was in the locker room. That was the game that we had when it was at Curtis, and I could see him bouncing up and down. See, this dude fired up. I watched him from the stands. It was at Tulane Stadium. So again, it was working. That would have been at Higgins, would have been at Eric, would have been at West Jeff. No question next. Nothing.
Hold on, what you trying to say about Higgins?
Huh?
What you trying to say about Higgins?
I'm just saying. Somebody would have did that at Higgins' locker room. Somebody would have did that at West Jeff locker room. Nobody would have had no questions asked about it. It was something to fire the kids up and see what they had. They all have to.
I'm trying to say, why you gotta say Higgins though?
You trying to say Higgins don't give a damn. That's what he's saying.
We located in the hood. We crowd environment, baby. Why you got? If you gonna say that, you gotta say HL bourgeois and stuff.
It would have been another
HL.
Y'all got two hands, two heads.
Stop. We half white, half black.
It would have been no question.
Nobody have two hands.
It was two boots. It was a nice chant, by the way. The chant was nice. I like it.
Do you know that went viral?
Love it.
Yeah.
I mean, they got all kinds of teams doing that now.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. Man, they got shirts. They got shirts, man.
They got a bounce song.
They got shirts, right.
They got a bounce song.
My point is, anybody other than St. Aug would have did that, or other than a white team would have did that, it would have been something different.
Oh, come on.
Anybody. It could have been Kennedy. That could have been Douglas. Anybody did that, and nobody would have said a thing.
Now, how St. Aug gonna trip about a chant like that, and they trying to get Bryce Brown in the building? They bring Bryce Brown in the building, they gonna have all kind of chants.
To be continued.
To be continued. Now, I want to read this one comment.
He at the basketball game the other night. He's sitting with the president and the basketball coach. So, I don't know. You read into that what you want.
To be continued.
Developing story.
Now, I want to read this one comment. It said, Bruce Dale Carter Jr. said this. You proved my point. An 18-year-old and a 20-year-old handled it different way. Jefferson took it because he, like you, just said he's no longer a collegiate athlete. But an 18-year-old sees a teammate taking it, and he might think it's okay.
Well, let me ask you this. Why they ain't had no LSU officials or somebody in player personnel right there saying, no, John Trick, give me the money, give it back to him. Why nobody was there to do that?
No LSU official right there.
In the
come on, man. Go look
at the field.
I'm not saying right there on them. I'm just saying, like, in the vicinity, come on, man.
You trust your guy enough to not to think that he will put him in that position?
Coach, I don't know.
That's just like, all right. This is how I look at it. Now, I know it's totally different. I trust you, G. I trust you. I trust if I drop my son off at your house that you're going to be calling me like, hey, man, come get this bad motherfucker. but I trust you enough to be like, all right, my son with G for 30 minutes,
If G go drive somewhere, I trust that he's not gonna be drinking, smoking, doing. He wouldn't do nothing to put my kid at risk. Now, I know that's a dramatic twist or nothing like that, but I'm just saying, like, as a coach, I know, like, so if I'm on the sideline coaching and we just want, prime example, when we won the state championship the year before, there's Devontae Smith, Elijah Walker, a couple other guys that have played for us that's at college. And we, in the celebration, I trust that, all right, Devontae ain't going to do nothing to put a meat at home. If we don't won the state championship this year and all them guys would have came back, I'm like, all right, I trust Devontae Lee not to do nothing, or Ishmael not to do nothing to put our team. I wouldn't think that here's somebody dropping the brown paper bag of, hey, look. You know, like, I don't expect, I wouldn't worry, I shouldn't have to worry about, put it that way, that Ishmael or Lee is going up to Durant and like, brown paper bag, y'all know, you know where it came from, baby, come on. And with cameras and all that stuff around to put us in that situation. I would hope that I have enough trust because this is the same institution that they came through and nobody did it to them. So I would hope.
I got another question.
It wouldn't be
done. I'm glad you brought that up.
We got to switch gears. But we got to switch gears.
Here's my question to you. Aran and Brady gone. Can they replace them with black people?
What's it again?
Can they replace those coaches with African-American coaches at any one of them positions?
Well, at offensive coordinator, Esmond going to stay in place. I think they're going to be fine. They're going to keep that same system in place. They'll be good on offense. On defense, I'm pretty sure Orgeron going to do his research and do a hell of a coaching search and get somebody coming in and place around her. Will they be just as good and smart and articulate as Dave Aranda? Who knows? But Orgeron's a defensive guy, so I think they're going to get that part figured out.
To be honest, they already have
a black coach at any of them two positions.
Color don't mean nothing. It's about doing what's best for the kids. To be honest with you, I hate when people throw the color out there.
Republican, that's doing what's best for the kids. They got very, very talented black coaches out there. There was no Bryce Brown. Go get Bryce Brown. He done won 3 championships. Go get Bryce Brown and put him in there. Put him at D coordinator.
Put Bryce Brown as defensive coordinator. You know he's an offensive guy. Come on, man. Come on.
Maybe at an FBS school.
Don't come with the political question. Because that's ridiculous right there.
He's an offensive guy.
Yeah, you know, come on now.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Okay. Why would I take Bryce Brown, who's an offensive guy, and hire him at defense coordinator because he won 3 state championships?
All right. I'll see that. Let's be hypothetical. Can Bryce Brown go in there and do a job at LSU? And my point to you with all of that is LSU will not hire a black coach. Not in no prominent position. He can be a position coach, wide receiver, or defensive back, but he'll never be an OCDC and never a head coach. That's my point.
I'm not going to dispute that because, you know, they had rumors.
They gave your boy 1 year at Denver. 1 year. What can you develop in 1 year?
Right.
That boy had 1 year and no options. I think that's wrong, man.
I'm not going to dispute it, but at the same time, I'm not going to say that's what's going on. Mm-hmm. But I do know when Frank Wilson was there, he was lobbying for the offensive coordinator job, and they didn't give it to him, which I felt that he should have got a shot to be the OC. And so, but I don't think LSU is just like, if they had a qualified African-American defensive coordinator out there or offensive coordinator out there that was...
I think they'll get that shot.
I do think LSU would give him that shot because a lot of people kept saying LSU don't want a black quarterback for the longest. Mm-hmm. And then here come Rohan David. And then here comes Jamarcus Russell. And they got Peter Parrish. And they got TJ Finley. So
Marcus Randall.
Right.
Quiet is kept. You would to go against you. Because people like what they perceive for what they see. Some people's perception is their reality. But before they hired Dave Aranda, you know who Les Miles was going after first, but he took a job at Illinois? Lovie Smith.
Who?
Lovie Smith was going to be the DC at LSU, but he took the job at Illinois. So I hate when people always throw that out there because
again, this has been a great topic, but we got to switch gears.
Right.
We got to switch gears. Right. Listen, we appreciate the call.
Okay, so let's switch gears. All right.
No problem.
Well, anyway, I love talking to you guys.
Oh yeah, man. Look, we like when you call in, man. You give us a run for our money.
That's all right, bro. All right, hey, bro. Enjoy the show. Y'all keep going. I'm gonna keep listening. I'm gonna get off here, but hey, I just wanted to ask them questions. You guys always give me some challenging answers. Y'all have a great weekend.
Yeah, you too, man. You too.
No problem. Listen, great conversation.
You don't never let it play out.
You gotta let it play out. You gotta let it play out. But we do gotta switch gears. Much to still discuss. A lot to talk. Like I said, we discussed. I know a lot of the shows we bulk of LSU, Odell Beckham, do the thing of the best team. But we do gotta talk pro football. We do have some 4 teams left in the playoffs. AFC Championship. We do have the Kansas City Chiefs. The Titans going to see the Kansas City Chiefs, and then we have in the NFC Championship, we got the Packers going to the 49ers out there in Santa Clara. Now that we down to the last 4 teams. Obviously. Now that we down to these last 4 teams, who is our favorite? Who you guys' favorite now to make the Super Bowl? We did mention, we had some conversation about it last, but we are down to the last 4 teams. Who do we think now can make the Super Bowl? Is it the Chiefs? Is it the Titans? Is it the Packers? Is it the 49ers? Who do you think going to be in Super Bowl down there in Miami?
I mean, before the playoffs started, I picked the Chiefs and the Saints to get in the Super Bowl.
My pick.
I'm starting to waver away just a little bit from the Chiefs. The Tennessee Titans.
Derrick Henry got you like that, huh?
It ain't just Derrick Henry. The Tennessee Titans have me really concerned for the Kansas City Chiefs on this weekend. And, bro, they play the type of brand of football that used to go on in the 90s. Mike Vrabel comes from under Belichick. He is doing a hell of a job with that defense. Ever since they switched Tannehill into the starting lineup and took Mariota and put him on the bench, their offense, not saying the offense skyrocketed, but the offense has been a little more efficient.
Right.
That Titan defense only giving up 12 points a game. Mm-hmm. And only 2 teams the whole season scored over 30 points, and that was the Panthers and the Saints. Everybody else have been in the 10s, 12s, 17 points. And when you got that kind of defense that's giving up less than 20 points a game, which is 12.5 points a game, you're going to be in every game. Right. You don't need your offense to score 30-plus points because your defense is going to keep you in every game. And Ryan Tannehill has played pretty good this year. He has a 70% completion rate. He has 22 touchdowns on the year, only 6 interceptions, and he didn't start 5 of the games. So that's been very impressive. Derrick Henry has been running like a man-child all season long. He's the NFL's leading rusher. In the last 3 games, he's been putting up video game numbers. I mean, against the Ravens, he put up 195 yards rushing. Against the Patriots, he put up 182 yards rushing. And then against the Texans, he put up 211 yards. So these last 3 games, this dude has been getting better. Don't nobody want to tackle him. And once he gets to the outside, onto that second level, you can cancel Christmas because nobody's going to tackle this guy one-on-one in the open field. The Chiefs going to have their work cut out for him on Sunday. If Chris Jones, the D tackle for the Chiefs, don't play on Sunday, I think the Chiefs lose because he didn't play against the Ravens.
Right.
No, not the Ravens, the Texans.
Texans.
He didn't play against the Texans on Sunday. And the Texans, they had a little success running the ball, but if that's Derrick Henry,
that's different.
Without Chris Jones in the middle, it's gonna be a long night. And you know what's gonna end up happening? That's gonna keep Pat Mahomes and that offense off the field. Yep. So I think that I gotta go with the upset. I got the Titans beating the Chiefs on Sunday. I'm very concerned about the Chiefs not being able to run the ball because Jarrell Casey and those guys, they are stuffing the run. That defense is playing phenomenal.
Jeffrey Simmons.
Yes, from Mississippi State. Those guys are playing phenomenal. Woodyard at the Mike linebacker is running sideline to sideline. They are playing smash
Sean
football.
Evans is playing lights out.
Yeah, then you got Kenyon Beard at safety, patrolling the middle. Adora Jackson playing his tail off. He's healthy now.
Logan Ryan.
I just think
Landry.
Brock.
Yeah.
They are coming. They are coming with a lot of different blitz packages on defense. Vrabel is dialing that up. I think the Chiefs are in trouble on Sunday, bro. And I think you see the Titans advance to the Super Bowl. And that's just my personal opinion. And on the NFC, I think the 49ers get it done. No, I don't trust Jimmy G, but I think that defense is that good, and the Green Bay doesn't have the weapons. Don't tell me about Jimmy Graham. Devontae Adams is his own receiver. After that, it's like house of the blind out there. If Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams can get the running game going against the 49ers, which I just don't see happening, I think they win the game. But I think we're going to see a 49ers and Titans Super Bowl, and it's going to probably be the lowest ratings in Super Bowl history.
Listen, I would say this. My dream matchup is because of the quarterbacks. I would love to see Aaron Rodgers versus Patrick Mahomes. When you look at the two teams, I would like to see the Packers versus the Chiefs because on each offensive possession, you got something to watch. But I don't think that's going to be the matchup. I don't think Green Bay goes into San Francisco, Levi Stadium, and come up big. I think they come up short. I got the 49ers entering the Super Bowl. That's just what I see. I love with Buckner being, Eric Armstead being back now. You know, Buckner still having a heck of a season. You still got Nick Bosa. You still got a lot of those guys. And that defense is, long as the 49ers can figure out what they want to do with 23, because he burn unit, they can find a way to put him on it. Witherspoon, they can get him on the bench somewhere. They are one of the best defensive teams in the NFL. Now, do I like Jimmy Garoppolo? I don't. But they can get the job done with Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo don't have to be this 400 yards, 5 touchdown quarterback for them to win games.
Right.
Jimmy G go out there, as long as he's not turning over the football, he go out there throw for 250 yards, complete 60% of his passes. That's enough for Jimmy Garoppolo for them to advance. The only thing they have to make sure Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't do is just try to be in competition with a guy of Aaron Rodgers, because Aaron Rodgers does not have – he's going to have to help them win. Aaron Rodgers got to go out there with Devontae Adams and, like he mentioned, lighthouse of the blind and try to go out there and create some plays. That's going to be hard to do. So I don't see the Green Bay Packers making it, but I don't have the Titans making it either. I got in Arrowhead, what I just saw this past weekend with the Chiefs were able to do, being down 24-0. It was special. It was special what Patrick Mahomes and what those guys got done. Him throwing the ball to Kelsey, him throwing the ball to Williams, him getting so many different guys about the way they was able to score. We saw a game for the first time where we looked at the team and said, man, there's people being down 21 points. That ain't enough. Now, the Titans have a different game changer than the Texans, which means you have Derrick Henry. You can control the time of possession. You don't have let those momentum plays get involved. But what I do see is the Chiefs not starting off that slow. They're going to come out there and not score fast, but get fluent in the game. And if the game gets about 10 points or so, then I have the Titans in trouble because they don't have that offense, so to speak, to say, man, look, if I'm getting down by 10 in Arrowhead, which is a very tough place to play in the playoffs, that can say to yourself, man, how can we get back into this game? Because now Tannehill is going to he's got to play outside of the system. He's going to have to try to make big plays and try to keep up with the Chiefs' offense.
So you believe the Chiefs can stop the run?
I don't think the Chiefs are going to be able to stop the run. What I think is that they're going to be able to score within within about 5 or 6 plays.
How you going to score if you ain't on the field like that, Fred?
They score very fast this past week.
I'm just saying, if you ain't on the field that much, how you going to score?
They wasn't on the field that much against the Texans. They just scored very fast. They scored fast.
We'll see.
So that's what I see. I see them still scoring fast. I still see them scoring 30-plus points, and I don't see the Titans scoring 30-plus points. So I got the Chiefs versus the 49ers. And that's my Super Bowl prediction.
I'll say this. I said it last week that the 3 teams who I thought that could win the Super Bowl, I said the Chiefs, the Ravens, and then I said the Titans. And I said it, and everybody was like, but this is the reason why. The Chiefs are a team that's only comfortable with the lead. They're very uncomfortable when they have to press. And now, granted, Houston is not the best of defense, and Bill O'Brien doesn't understand. He's just like Sean Payton in the sense where he doesn't understand time management. You get up 21-0 and somebody home. You
24-0.
You slow it down a little bit, and bleed out the clock some to where it's not enough time to do that. Titans have no qualms with playing ugly. They're comfortable in a 3-point game to where they're not pressing. They don't have to change who they are. The defense that they about to face is better, more athletic, faster. That's a big plus. To me, like G said earlier, if you can't stop the run, Patrick Mahomes will not be on the field. So what I mean by that, so let's say the Titans on an opening drive go 12 plays. Well, 12 plays for the Titans and 12 plays for the Chiefs is very different. 12 plays for the Chiefs might net you 5 minutes off the clock. 12 plays for the Titans might net 10 minutes and a possible score. All right, so you get that, and let's say they stop them, 3 out, and they do a similar drive, and just get a point. Let's say it's 10-0. Chiefs only been on the field 1 drive. Now they start pressing. Everything goes out the window. Their game plan is shot because they know their defense is not equipped for that. There's no more Derrick Johnson right there. There's no more Tom Ali. There's no more Justin Houston, guys that you know that can set the edge and hold up to the right. Look, Tyrann Mathieu, yeah, he's phenomenal. But Eric Berry played with no care for his damn body. And this before cancer, with cancer, and after cancer. That's just the way he played football. So he's more suited for this game. It's not those guys out there no more. So, you talking about pressing, and this is the same team that was favored against New England last year that came up short. You can't afford to start off slow in the playoffs, and starting off slow works good for the Titans because the clock is still ticking. So I feel like that's the way. The other side of it, I think the Titans win this game. Honestly, the way it's rolling. I just feel like they're on like with the Giants. The run the Giants was on the wild card. Nobody gave a shot in hell, and just nobody wants to play them now. On the flip side of that, I think Green Bay has the edge slightly because neither one of these guys been here before as head coaches. They've been on staffs that have been there, but not as the guy.
Shanahan been in the Super Bowl with the Falcons calling plays.
Yeah, I was saying, but as on the staff, coach. He hasn't been the guy. He just had to worry about calling plays.
Right.
Now he has to worry about plays, time management, clock. This, do I challenge that? Do I challenge this? Do I have to call a timeout here? What is, it's too. There's a lot extra on you. Outside of that, I feel like the Packers defense is due for a decent game, not a great game, a decent game. Mm-hmm. I think their cornerbacks, Jaleel Alexander, Kevin King. I think they're good enough.
Amos,
to hold 10 with the wide receiver. I feel like the game plan they shouldn't focus on the run. You got to stop it in that type of offense. But I think if you just make it hell for Kittle, you beat him. And now they got a guy who in his prime was something that Kittle couldn't even mess with. So, I'm not saying that helps him because you don't get to practice that much against him like talking about, but what you gotta, some things that kind of gave him trouble. You can kind of do some of the things to him a little bit. Right. And if you just hold them to 3 points, if you can't, absolutely, San Francisco cannot let this game be like within a touchdown range and Green Bay getting the ball back at any given time. Because you give me that situation 10 times out of 10, I'm taking, regardless of who he got playing with, it just seemed like the guy, especially this year, because they're a quiet 13-3 team, and people fail to realize that.
Like the Packers?
Yeah. So I think it might be the Packers and the Titans in an ugly Super Bowl.
That's another boring.
No, regardless, the Super Bowl won't be sexy.
Nah, it'll be sexy if the Chiefs and the Packers make it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because neither one of them defense, you're gonna get something. But
the league will promote these two quarterbacks. So it will draw a lot of people's attention because
I don't care about I'm just talking about the Astros. You can promote all you want. I'm talking about the event. The event itself. The defenses, both defenses ain't worked down, so it's gonna be a shootout type Super Bowl.
Right, but that's what people would tune into. People would tune in because they're saying to themselves, "Man, Aaron Rodgers, who people say is the best thing since this era, Sliceberg, he's back in the Super Bowl from 2010, since they won it." A lot of people say that Patrick Mahomes is going to be the next generational guy. That's a matchup that people would like to see as far as a head-to-head matchup. Who would they want to see? So it still has a shot of having a high rated as far as viewership if those two teams make it.
Right.
Now, if the Titans and the 49ers make it,
I'm not gonna watch it to the fourth quarter.
That's I would agree.
I'm not gonna watch it to the fourth quarter.
I would agree.
I don't think I'm gonna watch either of it. It just feel like it's gonna be a blowout or just horrible, and I don't like those like that. You must say that LSU national champion Tigers.
Moving on to Zion.
We got 1 minute. Producer got a show after this.
Yes. We got to talk about the Pelicans. Zion is scheduled to actually play January 22nd against San Antonio Spurs. Great idea for the Pelicans to start Zion Williamson, or you think that Zion should sit out the whole year?
I mean, my whole thing was, how many games back were you from the 8th spot? Right now, currently, they're 4 games back from Memphis. So, when you're 4 games back before the All-Star break, you got to put Zion out there.
I think they got like 41 games left, 40 games left on the season.
You gotta put Zion out there. Not only do you need to put him out there to try to see if you can make a run to get into the playoffs, but you owe it to the fans. All these fans that then bought season tickets and, wanted to see Zion, you owe it to this New Orleans fan base who hasn't been really supportive of the Pelicans and the Hornets since they've been back. And so you owe it to them to give us some type of excitement. And then with the Saints losing the way they lost, you owe it to them, to the New Orleans Pelicans faithful, to come out there and let Zion go out there and put on a show for these fans. And I ultimately think when he comes back, they will have a legitimate shot to get to that 8th spot. It's a toss-up. Memphis is playing pretty good with Ja Morant.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how it's going to play out. But I think, with Zion coming back and the way Lonzo Ball is playing, I think we're going to be in for a lot of entertainment from the Pelicans. So I do think it's smart to plan. Sitting them out just doesn't make any sense. What we going to tank for? I mean, they don't have anybody in this upcoming draft that's like for sure a franchise player. Anthony Edwards from Georgia is probably going to be the first pick in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
The way it's looking, Lonzo Ball's little brother, Melo Ball's probably going to be 2 or 3.
Wiseman
probably going to be somewhere well around there. And let me tell you something. I love Anthony Edwards. I like the way Melo Ball has progressed and how he's gotten better over the last 2 or 3 years. Wiseman's a good player, but none of those guys are franchise-type players to me, in my personal humble opinion. So why would we tank? All right, you'll be reaching if you do that.
It's not this year's draft class for that.
Right. It's
you
not.
You can get a solid player, but you're still a franchise player.
I covered the McDonald's All-American game and the Jordan Brand Classic last year, and I put it out there in the article I wrote. This is the weakest draft. This is going to be the weakest draft in the last 5 years. And that's just what it is. So you got to play Zion, and you want Zion to get some experience this year. So next year, he has that under his belt, and now he's ready to get on the ground running, coming into training camp, coming into the preseason, and now you have a legitimate shot to try to make a run in that West. Who knows? They make a couple deals here and there in the offseason to get another veteran in there or something. I don't know, but I think you got to play Zion, and I think when he comes back, you see this Pelican team go on a hot streak, and I think they have a legitimate shot to get to the 8th spot.
I gotta agree with you. I think that he's just really the missing link. I think this team actually grew through a lot of their losses. I'm not saying Alvin Gentry is by far a great coach by any means, but due to the loss of Zion at the start of the season, Brandon Ingram became his own player. I think if Zion had to start the season, I think he'd have still been trying to figure out what player he was. He'd have been averaging somewhere around, 13 to 15 points somewhere in there. Not really still. He would never have the confidence he is now. I think he's a fully confident player right now. I think Lonzo is starting to develop to what he is going to be. Their missing element is Zion Williamson. So for me, if you're 4 games out, like I said, I think like 40 games left in the season, I think getting to the 8th spot is realistic with only being 4 games out. Mm-hmm. He is the missing ingredient. He is the spark they're going to need. So to me right now, if he's now granted, I'm not saying go play this guy back to back to back to back. No,
they say he's not gonna be on no minute restriction either.
I wouldn't have him on a minute restriction. I just want to have him in every back-to-back game. But I would not have him on a minute restriction. I would have him if he's out there, he's capable of playing 30-plus points a night, he should do that. But I will manage his night and his back-to-backs. That I would do. But the Pelicans right now are on a situation where I think they want to pass
7 out of 9.
7 out of 9.
Something like that.
So when you just have that one missing element, that spark, that thing that you just can't define as far as freak of nature basketball player on that court who can average. We saw it in the preseason. These kids averaging 20-some points. I don't think it's going to be anything different when he comes back. But now the team is a little more defined as far as what players are and what they think they are at this level now. I think Brandon Ingram realized that I can score when I want. You know, Lonzo Ball is starting to figure out I can distribute the basketball, I can get my 10 to 50, my little jumper.
Lonzo Ball has come on the last 2 or 3 weeks.
He's come on.
I think he is gaining confidence, and when Zion comes back, the way he can pass the ball and hit people in their spots,
correct.
This is going to be a pretty dangerous team.
And I think
they got to play him.
And I think they got better overall in the past couple of games, but just understanding that. Listen, Frank Clark, you're not going to play every night. Taking certain guys to listen.
Frank Jackson.
You're not going to play every night. Taking certain guys on his team and say, listen, you're going to be some DNPs. Kind of limited that rotation a little bit. So, Nickeil, Walker Alexander, listen, you're going to play this amount of minutes. Kind of defining what these guys' roles were going to be. And I like that. I like what they did with that. When I first started watching, everybody was playing. It's like, they don't know the role, they don't know the rotation. I like this situation right now with Zion coming back because I think guys know who they are and the team is kind of defined. He's just a missing link. I'm not saying they're going to win a NBA, championship. I'm not saying they're going to get out the first round, but I am saying that when he does come back, you can get to that 8th spot.
Right.
Anything to add, Coach in?
I think he should come back, but I don't think he should come back right now. I honestly think this team has came 4 games outside of the 8th seed. Bring them back after the All-Star break. Because what they got going right now is chemistry that was built through practice, losses, games, certain situations, certain play calls and all that stuff. Everybody knows what everybody is. When you draw a monkey wrench right into that, because now everybody felt bad that he got hurt, so everybody's going to be, look, when you see him dunk one time, everybody, I want to be the next one to get him the alley. It kind of, when you got that new piece, it's like, it messes up what you done built, and it can hurt you against the right team. I say, let the All-Star break come. Now y'all getting it, because you got a week after the whole All-Star break before any games even play. Figure out your rotations, figure out how you want this to handle, and then let him hit the ground running on that back stretch because now you don't tilt your hand. Because now teams that you got to play a couple more times, like the Rockets, like the Grizzlies, like San Antonio, now they don't see what you going, because you're gonna have people like Pop that's sitting there like, all right, the only person I probably got to worry about is DeMar DeRozan or maybe LaMarcus Aldridge going to the All-Star game. Everybody else is going to be here. So look, we got to practice such and such. We played, when New Orleans come out and this look right here, this is what they trying to do. This is our counter to that. Look, just wait till after the All-Star break, and then hit the ground roll.
The only thing that I would disagree with you about what you're saying is Zion is a different type of talent. I'm going to tell you why. Zion is somebody you don't have to draw a player for. He's not somebody you got to be like, let's call ourselves for Zion. Zion going to get his in transition, putbacks, offensive rebounds, drop-offs. He's not somebody you have to draw a player for. And I think that won't hurt their chemistry. Versus if it was somebody like Brandon Ingram that was coming back, right. You got to draw sets and stuff for people like Brandon Ingram. So I think that's going to be an easy transition for Zion to come back and be an impactful player for the Pelicans where it won't mess them up chemistry-wise.
Remember when Blake Griffin was hurt and he missed that whole year? He got hurt right again. That the beginning of the second half. Mm-hmm. I mean, the beginning of the second season when he won Rookie of the Year. Then when he started when he started practicing, and it was like when they seen the first alley-oop, it was like everybody stopped what they was doing to try to. It was time that DeAndre Jordan, who look, you have no other skill set on offense but an alley-oop dunk, and he's going up for a alley-oop for himself, and was stopped midway to let Blake come down to give him some, because they just like in football, how defensive player, like you see somebody get hit hard and one of your guys hit him, like everybody like, man, shit, I'm next. Now you see somebody throw a good alley-oop and everybody get crumped. You like, I'm next. I'm going. I think that dynamic of it would change because we got to. I think the one small thing that a lot of fans overlooking is outside of Drew and Derek Favors, everybody on this team is NBA babies. You talking about
not JJ Redick.
What I forgot. JJ Redick. You said. Well, people say, well, Brandon Ingram and Lonzo Ball, they're not very. They're more NBA toddlers than anything because this is as much as Lonzo Ball just took the training wheels off of his bike, to put it in the to where y'all can understand. But that's just me. That's just because that's just how because I was like, look, just like I was like with Drew. Look, man, you going into the bye. Let Teddy finish that game. There's no just come back, full week of practice, full this and that. Help, you know what I'm saying? Because my thing is like
4 games back, that could turn into 8 games back like that.
That's what I'm about to say. The only problem I have is they don't have that many after the All-Star break. You got like 25 games left. So when you start to look at that, it's the limited amount of games you have to get to that point.
The All-Star break is when
February, like the middle of February.
It's like the middle of February.
It's not the first week of February no more?
Like the second week.
It's not Valentine's week no more?
It might be. I don't know.
Valentine's week.
I know typically after the All-Star break, you got about 25, 27 games left.
You got to think.
Not that much of a season left.
It's 82 games.
Uh-huh.
If they're already at 41.
They got about another 15 more games to go before the All-Star break.
That's okay. I thought the All-Star.
Right. And that's the only objection I had.
I was looking at the All-Star break like being like 2 weeks away. Okay, so
right. So I'm like, they're gonna have like another 10 to 15 more games to go. So I'm saying to myself, I know after the All-Star break, you got less than 30 games. So to make that push, I would want this team to be. Because once you get so many games behind in the Western Conference, you can wrap that up.
Yeah.
You can wrap that up. There's no coming back. You have to go on an undefeated streak. You have to go on these 12-0 runs and 15-0 runs.
They're gonna be fighting with San Antonio and Portland for their A spot. And Memphis. That's gonna be the 3 teams: Portland, San Antonio, and Memphis.
I'll
fight with them 3 teams.
I don't consider Phoenix in that run. I just don't see it.
I would say I'll say let him get his run like a good solid 2 weeks before the trade deadline. That way, if you see what you can get with him and say, all right, look, Jaleel, you're a good person, good player. But what we trying to do, you're not gonna help us. Somebody's willing to give us XBC for this right now. That's where we going. You know what I'm saying? To see, because it's gonna be some pieces. Because see, to be honest, like Jaleel Okafor, I think once he come back, he's like These are people I really don't see spots for based on what I've been seeing. Jaleel Okafor, Frank Jackson role is gonna be diminished some now, because now you got Hart, who gonna need more, who pretty much gonna be in control of that whole second year. Hart and JJ, and then Walker Alexander, who's been doing phenomenal. So those are 3. Jackson Hayes 4. Whoever you want,
Millie.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Who's been a nice pickup from the overseas. So it's like Frank Jackson's the guy I don't see. I think you might be able to get something. Is Eton Moore still on the damn team?
Yeah.
You might be able to get something for him. You know, somebody is desperate for shooters. They're going to shoot. You know what I'm saying? Because especially with this draft, you got draft picks for this class, but do you really want draft picks for this class? You might want to see if you can get something.
And also,
see if you get rid of some of them for next class. Like, look, let's trade. Give me these picks. Give me 2022 instead of 21 draft, if that makes sense.
And also, not to try to make it seem like it's some kind of conspiracy theory, but I'm sure the NBA wants the Pelicans to get their A spot to go against the Lakers in the first round, because that's going to create ratings.
Ratings.
Portland against the Lakers.
That's not going to be ratings.
San Antonio against the Lakers in the first round. Nobody's going to want to watch that. The Pelicans, with a healthy Zion.
Yeah, that's must see TV.
Everybody going to want to watch that.
Hey.
Everybody going to watch that. And it's going to be a great experience for the Pelicans. So I think,
that's must see TV.
I think,
I tell you what, dude.
They got a hell of a shot to get to the A spot.
If the Lakers do it, man, motherfuckers pull a line up on me with the Lakers for 2K, man. If the Lakers pull that shit in real life, man, I just see, I don't see how nobody stop that shit, man. I'm just being real. Motherfucker had LeBron at the point, Kuzma at the 2, AD at the 3, JaVale McGee at the 4, Dwight Howard at the 5, and then a healthy Boogie Cousins would go at the 4, and You put Ever at the 5. Who the that's 7-footers that all get shoot outside of McGee?
Think guys video game.
You
Y'all
shit.
cheat. Goddamn cheaters.
How that cheat? That's what look. That's the roster. There ain't no cheating. You use what you got. Goddamn.
AD at the 3. Look at cheat, man. Nobody. Nobody. Beat this cop. But listen, guys, that's our show. Listen, thank y'all for tuning in. Subscribe to the FanView Live page if you're on Facebook, IG. It's FanView Nola on Twitter. Don't forget to follow my man GSportz. If you're on Twitter, Facebook, IG, YouTube, don't forget to follow him also, man. That's our show. Appreciate it. See y'all again next Thursday.
Soon as you thought it was over, it just started. Ain't no party like the LSU party. The bounce it bounce. So that dude really did piss me off with that comment.
I can tell.
I can tell.